Good morning, flute players. So today we're going to work on a few more finesse items for air and dance, a couple more exercises at the beginning to get us warmed up, and then I'm going to remind you of one exercise that we have worked on a little bit in class for most of you, and work more on flute specific details for that, and I'm going to continue to get better at flute as well. So first off, let's tune up our instruments, get out a tuner. I have this one right here. We are a B-flat instrument, so if your tuner has the ability to change keys, don't worry about it. You are a concert pitch instrument. Give me your B-flat. I am hideously sharp, so I'm going to pull out my neck joint a little bit. Still very sharp. A lot of that has to do with the instrument not being warm yet, but at the beginning of a flute rehearsal, you don't want to be any more than probably 8 or 9 cents sharp. You will mellow out a little bit. And there I'm actually a little bit flat. So I'm going to push a tiny bit back in. One last go, and I think this is it. Perfect. A couple cents sharp, but that will mellow out as the instrument gets more and more warm. Now that you've done that, give yourself a metronome. I'm just going to open the metronome in here, because why not? Bring it down to 80 beats per minute. Full octave scale, 8 beats on, 8 beats off. You know the drill by this point. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. Make sure you're getting big air. 5, 6, 7. And you would go back down, pause me, do that a couple times. This should become part of your warm-up ritual every single time. You might be noticing that you're improving. You should be noticing you're improving if you're practicing enough by now. Still, those lower notes take a lot more air, so maybe you're having difficulty. I especially have difficulty between the C and the E flat. Once I'm up at the F, G, A, and B flat, it's easier for me because that's faster, thinner air, so I'm able to use less of my lungs to do that. The lower notes are harder. A good way to exercise that is actually just by going down on the scale too, from your low B flat. See how low you can get and how long you can sustain all those lower notes. All of those low notes from your B flat, A, G, F, E flat, D, those are all the exact same fingerings as the octave above. So just try getting that to that low D, right? This. Oh, walk down. And see how much you can get that note to be projected and how long you can hold it. That's something that I continue to do to get better at my lower range. So One exercise I would like to work on is set your timer to 60 or your metronome to 60 or right abouts. There we go. Okay, we've done this exercise before where it's do, do, re, do, do, re, mi, re, do, all the way up through your top do. I will play it once. I'll tell you right now, my mistake is always going to be between D and E flat coming down. For some reason, my fingers don't like going from an F, which is thumb 1, 2, 3, 1, to thumb 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pinky. I don't like that much movement in my right hand for some reason, and that messes me up. But watch me do it once, and you'll be able to. One, 2, ready. So that's it at 60 beats per minute. That's the speed I'm comfortable taking it right now. Once you are fluent at that speed, feel free to crank it up to 80, where it's do, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. I'm not quite there yet. One other thing that works on with is articulation. So the way you articulate each note can be different. The way I just articulated was tenuto, legato, very connected, longer, full value notes. You can always practice with shorter notes. Do the exact same thing. I'll just play a little bit like staccato. And try to get the cleanest tone out of that you can. My tone with staccato on flute is not particularly clean. So, pause me. Do that up and down a couple times. Your scale exercises together should now be between 8 and 10 minutes of your warm-up. If you do a full octave of the 8-beat half notes, or 8-beat long tones, 8-beat rest, do that up and down twice, and then do your do, re, mi, re, do a couple times through. And next week we're going to work coming top down on a slower track as well. That's going to be a little bit harder on flute, but we'll get there. So those are your 2 exercises for the week. We're going to now play with the piece. So this is the area that we've worked on before, 11 to 33, but especially having worked on our long tones right now, I want us to focus on dynamics and on these phrase markings. So the tonguing during these phrase markings has to be incredibly delicate, right? It's very dolce, sweet, chanson, very sing-like. Cantabile is the Italian term for that, in a singing style. So, right? So we are, look, somebody thinks we have a live meeting today. We do not have a live meeting today. So, we are going to play along with the recording. Starting right at the beginning, because we have time to rest. We're into measure 3. Get used to counting 2. We're at measure 7. right there because I know I messed that up pretty badly. I suggest you do the same. Let's find what tempo the piece is at. It's almost exactly at 80. So let's set a metronome at 80. Go back to the beginning. Those two sections, I just messed up because I went for a G or an F instead of a G. So starting at 11. 1, 2, ready. My breath control there is something I need to work on. So taking those really, really deep breaths before we start. I'll do it slower so I can get it. So those are huge, obnoxious breaths that I'm taking, right? I suggest you do the same. Before you play any of those sections, take the largest, most obnoxious breath you possibly can. All right? So let's put that metronome back on. Starting at measure 11, huge, obnoxious breaths. 1, 2, already better. I can tell you the mistake I made that time was breathing right before the last note in measure 12. As you do this more, as you do the breathing exercises more, as you play more flute, this will become more comfortable. Maybe you're watching this going, I've got this already, Mr. Callan, I can do this. That case, just kind of skip forward past this section because I'm working through this as well as with you. I'm learning this piece on every instrument and it's really stretching my instrumental abilities. So, let's take it from beginning with the recording, see if we can get that any better this time. 2. Measure 3. Okay, I made a couple mistakes in there. What I would like you to do for this week is I would like you to once again record me measures 11 through 33, but I would like you to find things that you've improved on. So go back and watch your video from the first lesson we worked on, from the first time that you recorded 11 through 33. Watch that video, watch how you performed, and tell me how you've improved since then. So go back, practice measures 11 through 33, focus on your breath control, focus on the phrasing, reference specific measures. So I could, like, for example, if I was to analyze how I've improved on this right now, My phrasing from 11 to 19 especially has very much improved. I'm still struggling with holding out the half notes at the end of every second measure and the whole notes till the very end of their count at full timbre, at full round sound, something I will continue to work on. And then I made a couple stupid mistakes, you know, like I played that G as an F again, and I played a B flat there right at the beginning of the note, changed it pretty quickly, but definitely forgot my fingerings there for a second. But I have improved my phrasing. I'm able to hold this out much longer. I am not tonguing nearly as hard in all of these phrased sections with the phrase marking, and that's just how I think I've improved. So your homework this week is to record measures 11 through 33. I would like you to record it with the recording of the song playing in the background this time, and I would like you to explain in 30 seconds to a minute, how you think you've improved and what you've done to make that improvement from measures 11 to 33 since the first time you recorded it. If you still haven't recorded measures 11 through 33, please go back and do that. If you have any questions, I'm on Google Hangouts, I'm on Gmail, send me an email, and I will talk to you next time.